Have you ever looked at a map and just wondered about a name? A lake, a street, maybe an island? We see them all the time, right? But sometimes those names aren't just labels, they're memorials. And today, we're going to uncover the incredible hidden story of a single life tucked away in one of those names.
So our journey starts right here, in this beautiful but pretty remote corner of Canada. This is Eagle Nest Lake in Manitoba, super close to the Ontario border. It's a place of just quiet, natural beauty. But it also holds this permanent, powerful reminder of a life given in service.
And that really is the question at the very heart of our story today. Because a name isn't just a label, is it? It's a key. It's a key that can unlock this amazing tale of sacrifice, of pure chance, and of remembrance that, honestly, might otherwise have just been lost to time.
And this is the place, LeVasseur Isle. Now, if you were just paddling by, you'd think it's just a lovely wooded island. But its name carries the entire weight of a young man's life and the absolutely unbelievable circumstances of his death. So to really understand the name, we have to understand the man. Who was he, and how did his life story get permanently etched onto the map of Canada? Let's find out. This is him, Lucien Charles LeVasseur. He was born in Winnipeg, Manitoba, way back on August 29, 1920. And just look at this photo. You can see it in his eyes. A young man with his entire life ahead of him who made the choice to serve in the Royal Canadian Air Force.
And we can actually get to know him through historical documents just like this one, his official attestation paper for the Air Force. Seeing his own handwriting, wow, it just makes that connection feel so real, so tangible. It's like it bridges all those decades between his time and ours. These little details, they really ground him in reality, don't they? Before he was a soldier, he was a clerk in a hardware store. 5'8", 143 pounds. These aren't just stats. They paint a picture of an ordinary young Canadian guy on the verge of doing something truly extraordinary.
But of course, he was so much more than just the official record. Lucien loved sports, a big hockey and baseball guy. And he had this special talent. He was an excellent pianist. I mean, can you imagine that? In between these incredibly dangerous bombing missions over in England, he would entertain his friends on the piano. He literally brought joy into a world filled with so much tension and fear.
And it wasn't just his friends who saw his spark. His superiors saw his potential. Back in 1941, his senior officer wrote this evaluation: an alert, intelligent boy who should succeed in the air team. So right from the get-go, he was seen as bright and capable, someone with a really promising future in the service.
And, like so many of his generation, Lucien answered that call to serve during the Second World War. It was a decision that would set him on a path that led him thousands of miles from home, right into the very heart of the conflict.
Now, he trained for a highly skilled and, let's be honest, an incredibly dangerous role. As a wireless operator and air gunner on a Lancaster bomber, he was the crew's lifeline. He handled all the communication, but he was also one of its key defenders against enemy fighters. I mean, talk about a job that required nerves of steel.
Okay. So this is where the story takes a tragic turn. It's just a powerful reminder of how, in war, the line between life and death can be decided by a single, seemingly random event.
Just think about this for a second. Lucien and his regular flight crew, they had flown mission after mission together, they'd survived all this immense danger, and they were just one single mission away from finishing their tour and being sent safely home. So close.
And then, a moment of pure random chance. On a totally different crew, the wireless operator gets struck down with appendicitis. He can't fly. And just like that, there's an empty seat on another plane for another mission.
Lucien did not have to go. He could have just waited for his own crew's final flight. But, in an act of pure duty and camaraderie, he volunteered. He stepped up to fill that empty seat.
That volunteer mission was in October 1944. It was a dangerous raid over Dusseldorf in Germany's heavily defended Ruhr Valley. And mid-flight, their aircraft was hit. It crashed. Everyone on board was killed, except for one person, the pilot, who managed to parachute out and became a prisoner of war.
And this is the most heartbreaking twist of all. The crew he was supposed to be with, the men he'd flown with all that time, well, they completed their final mission without him. And every single one of them returned home safely to Canada. So this brings us full circle, right back to that quiet spot in Manitoba where our story began.
Now we can see how a life that was lost in the skies of a Germany became this permanent legacy of remembrance back home.
This piece of land, LeVasseur Isle, would become the lasting memorial to Lucien's sacrifice. It's amazing, isn't it? It's how we transform a place into a story, a physical space into a sacred memory.
And it didn't happen right away. It took nearly 40 years after his death, but in 1982, the Geographical Names Board of Canada made it official, which is just such a powerful statement that, remembrance, it has no expiration date.
This is the official reason given for the name. It's so simple, so direct, and just incredibly poignant. It's a formal declaration, making sure that the story of the young pianist and hardware clerk from Manitoba who volunteered for one last flight will never, ever be forgotten.
So, the next time you glance at a map, maybe take a closer look at the names. LeVasseur Isle reminds us that behind every one of those labels, there might just be a story worth knowing, a story of a life, a choice, and a legacy that absolutely deserves to be remembered. What stories are hidden in the places all around you?